So, I want to jump right into this topic. The Smash community has been dealt another blow, and it's been pretty rough. Even for me, when I first heard the news, I actually felt quite sad. The biggest news I'm talking about here is there's the production team, the esports team, the GOATs that produced content for the Super Smash Bros. Scene Beyond the Summit has announced they are going to be closing their doors soon. They're going to finish out the most up-to-date tournament for Smash Ultimate Summit 6. But after that, they unfortunately are letting their team members know that they may not have a position anymore. And I think they're doing the due diligence by letting people know that. Let people make preparations so that they can find their next career. The big reason, of course, well, it's probably because of finances. I don't know the intimate details behind BTS's staff's finances. However, this doesn't mean that the future of the Super Smash Bros., in my particular view, is necessarily doom and gloom. As mentioned, I still think the future is optimistic. And there's a simple reason why. Check this out. This, what we have here on the screen, is why I believe the future of the Super Smash Bros. Scene is not big doom and gloom. There are hiccups, there are hurdles, but jeopardy? I don't think so. What we're looking at here on the screen is the engagement of average viewers and peak viewership of all tournaments within the Super Smash Bros. Scene over the last year. Here on the left, I have the Super Smash Bros. Melee engagements for 2022. So starting from March last year, 2022, up until the current most updated tournament, Genesis 9, with the biggest one. The yellow bars here on the bottom indicate the average viewers of said large tournament, while the blue line indicates the peaks of viewership on that respective tournament. Here on the right, we have the same thing, but for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Let's dive a little deeper. Let's go into Melee first. Check this out. Here are the tournaments that produced a large number of gamage for the entire year within the Super Smash Bros. Melee scene. You can see starting from the bottom, Ludwig did a tournament. Genesis 8, Pound, Summit 13, the Battle for BC, CEO, Get on My Level, Double Down, Super Smash Con. All of these tournaments were able to produce large number of attendees. Well, except for the summits, but they're an exception because that's how they operated. But large viewership and large peak viewership. The thing that blows my mind when I look at this data is I say to myself, wait a minute, if the scene is able to get tens of thousands of views on many of these big tournaments with tens of thousands of views, even in some cases 100,000 plus peak viewership on some of these big tournaments, how are we not attracting sponsors? How are we not attracting people who want the people who are watching these tournaments eyeballs on their product? To me, it speaks volumes that no, the scene is not dead. It's not gloomy. There is potential for us to get out there and attract new sponsors, new value into the scene, but it's not going to be easy. It does and will require hard work. Melee is one side. Let's look at the Ultimate piece here as well. One caveat here on the Smash Ultimate page is that I did want to exclude the Japanese tournaments, primarily because I couldn't initially find the Twitch analytics for those tournaments. But looking at Ultimate, the numbers are even a little bit better. Ultimate is a very different type of audience, primarily because the age demographic, it's a younger folk who are playing this game. But there are more tournaments being actively played for Ultimate right now, which makes sense. It's a newer game. Quickly going through, starting from last year, January, Let's Make Like Booze, the Kagaribi, I said that right, I think. Glitch, Smash Ultimate, Genesis, Slow Tide City, Battle for BC, Invitational, CEO. Again, these tournaments are producing tens of thousands of average viewers for the whole tournament series, as well as, in some cases, over 100,000 peak viewership for these tournaments. Where's the engagement? This is just Twitch analytics. There are more engagements being done on Twitter and all those socials. People talking about it, people doing hashtags, people engaging with the community. Where's the marketability of it? There needs to be more help. And I want to help support it. And part of what I would like to do in the future is set up a little session with some of the tournament organizers to show them how to do that. I think one trend that I've noticed going into this scene, and I kind of knew it just because of, I would say I come from the scene too, is that a lot of these tournaments are done very homey-like. Like, oh, I know a guy who can bring in some TVs, or I know a guy who can help set up a stand or production studio. Truth be told, I think if we want to continue forward with big engagement like this, we need more than that. There needs to be a business strategy and a business plan, and marketability needs to be a huge piece of where this goes. That doesn't necessarily mean either that the cost of entry for all of the players will be increased. I don't necessarily think that's a hard requirement in order to get larger engagements, more eyes, more marketability. But I do think there's a business strategy that needs to be talked about with different tournament organizers. I don't think it's all doom and gloom. One more thing I'll add is that a couple people within the scene are really good in the marketing sense, like Beyond the Summit, I'm sorry. They hired some really brilliant people to bring in, do skits, be creative directors, do partner sponsorships. It's a fantastic setup, and I feel super sad that unfortunately it's no longer going to be continuing operation. So that breaks my heart, but it's not the end. I think there's still hope for a lot of people in the Super Smash Bros. Scene, but it's gonna not be done alone. We need to work together to make it happen. I feel like I'm doing some of my due diligence, as I mentioned, and I would like to hold a session of like where I see some of the profitability for this tournament series and all of the Smash community going forward, primarily because my job in the last couple of years has been to learn how to market correctly. From a professional and business standpoint, my eyes have been blown. I've been learned a lot the last 2 or 3 years on how a business actually functions and makes money within the tech space specifically, but I think the rules of engagement apply across the board. One person I think that's a brilliant example, Devin Nash. Devin Nash has some great videos of how to do this type of stuff, and initially I could see people looking at those videos and say, okay, that applies to how to market yourself as a content creator or small time. But no, if you're running these tournaments here, the big house, port priority, main stage, okay, that's BTS. But these tournaments are just like me and you. We need to get more marketing strategy. We need to approach more sponsors in order to get that market out there, which will result in much better tournament series. We're going to get more stuff going on in the tournaments. We need to do our due diligence. That's what it comes down to in my eyes. So that's my spiel. That's my 5 minutes on why I think the Smash scene is not doom and gloom right now. We do have a bright future. We just have to capitalize on the numbers that we were able to produce inherently. Not every game is even come close in the amount of numbers that we produce in this scene, and they're still able to produce a content and keep themselves going. Why not Smash? Until next time, thanks for coming by for this one.